Are you the next Ava DuVernay, the next Shonda Rhimes? Well, we have the Sylvia Jones here with us today, award-winning writer and producer from The Chi, Cherish the Day, and Starz Power Book 4. She's here to tell us about her upcoming conference that will position you to bring your story to the screen. But first, let's talk about Sylvia. You started right here at WGN.
I sure did.
Did you ever think
Chicago's very own.
That's right. You are Chicago's very own. You were a special projects producer. We used to work together all the time. At that time, did you ever think you'd be the Sylvia Jones?
You know what? The short answer is no.
Okay.
I mean, when you think about your dream, it was always my dream to be a Hollywood writer, whatever that means, right? But way back in the back of my head, it's like, oh, not for a little Southside Chicago girl. Like that's for somebody else.
I think we all think that.
Yeah, you know, and so it's been since college. I mean, it's always been brewing in the back of my mind. But I didn't think it was for me. I didn't have a roadmap. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anybody who could say, yes, you can, and here's how to do it. But cut to, all of these years later, I'm doing it, and it's fabulous, and I'm trying to be for other people what I didn't have anybody to be for me.
You pinch yourself sometimes and say, I did it, and I did it myself. I decided, I mean, you packed up, you moved to LA, and you did it.
I did. And you know, yes, I do pinch myself, but more often other people pinch me because sometimes I get, I tend to be a worker bee. You know, I was a worker bee when I was at WGN. It's like my head is down, I'm working. And it's other people often who will, you know, tap me on the shoulder like, oh wait, you did this and you did wait, and you're doing that, and I'm like,
you don't realize it. You have to tell yourself.
Exactly. You know, and I have to remind myself that, like, oh yeah, I did a thing. Like, you know, and then there's also the issue, like, you know, with news, and this is just to compare news and working on TV and film. You know, news is urgent. It's immediate.
Deadline.
You know, and so we're used to doing it, and then once it's done, it's out of there. With television and film, it's a much longer process. So I'll give you an example. One of my crown jewels is I was writer for the Clark Sisters' First Ladies of Gospel, which we aired on Lifetime. That movie was, I mean, I was so proud to have done it, but we had been working on that for 2 years prior.
Wow.
And so when it finally aired, I mean, of course, it's like giving birth, like, oh my God, are people gonna like my baby, you know? And I was so glad people did, but it was like other people were so much more excited than I am. And they were calling me, telling me that they watched it 2 and 3 times. And, oh, I watched it with my mother. And it was like, for me, it was, I don't
like
validation.
It
was validation, but it was a little, they had to reignite my joy because I was already at that point when that show aired, I was working on Power Book 4 for Force. So my mind was all Tommy and Power, and I was creating a whole new thing. And so I had to like backtrack, like, oh yeah, I did a thing. I did a thing, because it's like at that point my part had been done and it had been in production and it had all that. I was on the next thing. So I have to remind myself to just live in the moment and relish in it a little bit.
And you keep doing things, and that's the thing. You said a girl from the South Side of Chicago. There's so many people out there watching right now and say, I want to do that. But I could never do that. Oh my goodness. But you can.
You can. And you know what, Micah, another thing that I mention to people all the time, as you said, I worked at WGN. I worked at a number of different stations around the country. I wasn't exactly a spring chicken when as my grandmother would say, when I decided to change careers. And that's what I did. I mean, I had been a journalist for 20 plus years. And people kind of thought I was having a midlife crisis or, maybe needed some intervention or something because I, announced, you know what? I'm quitting my job and I'm moving to LA.
And you literally did that.
I did that.
We were in the news and we're like, what? Really?
Right.
Sylvia quit? She's gone to LA. And you kind of journaled it. We saw it on social media and we saw the Chi, the Clarkson, it came to reality.
And I think everybody, including me, was shocked, but I just knew this was something that I always wanted to do. Like I said, way back in college, in my dorm, watching A Different World and saying, I wonder if I could put my words in some actor's mouth. I wonder if my writing could make it to the screen. But I just didn't know how. I thought you had to be somebody.
Yeah. Well,
in
you
order
are
to do
somebody.
that now.
But
Yes,
you're
I
always
am.
somebody.
Always. I didn't
think you
know
need to have
it.
the confidence in yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're trying to do with the workshop coming
That's
up, right?
exactly right. I'm telling you all of those things that I had to work out by myself. Now I know it. Now I'm the stuff. Okay? You know that's not me. But
I know.
now I can tell other people, here's what you do. Here's how Hollywood works. I mean, when I, came to LA, and literally I came for a school program and then had to kind of work my way into the industry. I knew nothing. I mean, I was brand new, and I was just kind of, picking up little jewels wherever I could. So much that I look at now as just like commonplace. It was all brand new for me. Nobody told me. And in some ways, I think my naivete may have helped me.
Probably, because you didn't know what you were getting into.
Didn't know, right. I didn't
Yeah.
know what I was getting into. I didn't know things that people say, oh, you don't do.
Right.
I didn't know I couldn't do them because I
you
didn't know what I was supposed to do.
So the workshop is when?
It's coming up September 5th through
Okay.
8th. Purposely, right here in Chicago. We're based at the Lowe's Chicago Hotel. I have it in Chicago because so much is in LA, and people can be intimidated by LA.
Yeah.
But Midwest is right here, and there's so much production in Chicago. One
Now,
of the things,
definitely, yeah.
One of the things we're going to do as part of the weekend is go to CineSpace and tour one of the
I love it.
shows.
Chicago
one of the
PD,
sets.
Chicago Fire, all of them.
Yes, all of them are shot right here
Yeah,
in
I love
Chicago, and I want people to be able to get that access.
Okay.
That's my little thing. Hashtag access to Hollywood.
I love it.
People don't have the opportunity. They don't have the roadmap, and there are also I would bring up there are a lot of people who write books or who want to write books, and they want to say, okay, well, I have this book. How do I get it turned into a movie? That's one of the things we talk about here. That's one of the, I really try to lay it out and give people a roadmap and answer all of the questions they didn't even know to ask.
Sylvia, come out. We want people to come out. The Sounds Like Joy Writers Retreat and the workshop happens, as you said, the Lowe's Hotel in Chicago, September 5th through the 8th. To register and for more information, visit soundslikejoyproductions.com. Thanks again for coming in.
Oh my God, it's my pleasure.
Oh.